Hello, my friends. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. This is Jennifer. Hey guys, so we are in my beautiful backyard today, and I have the half square triangle sampler quilt on my fence. I actually turned it sideways so I could get the whole thing in the shot. I'm so happy with it. It is quilted, it is bound, it is beautiful. It makes me very, very happy. And this is a truly scrappy quilt. There is fabric in here from Jules's quilt that I finished up for her last year, from my Talk to Me Tuesday block of the month quilt that I finished last year. There is fabric from the clothing that I've made over the last couple years and all the little different projects I've worked on. There's fabric from all the bags that I made for the Talk to Me Tuesday gals who all went to the Houston International Quilt Show in, I think, 2022. Just all kinds, I mean, almost all of it was from my scrap bin with a little bit of plumping up from my stash. I genuinely appreciated all the comments about the quilting, my free motion quilting that I tagged onto the end of last week's video. I have been free motion quilting for a long time. I want to say I learned how to do it on my domestic machine. I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know, 2008 maybe? So it's been a day or two. I had a Baby Lock Quest at the time, and because I remember because of the class. And I remember the number one thing that the instructor said was that if you cannot relax, you cannot free motion quilt. She was like, relax, do whatever you need to do, have a glass of wine, meditate, take a deep breath, whatever it is you need to do to relax and just loosen up before you free motion quilt. And it will make all the difference in the world. And I have found that if I am stressed, it is impossible for me to quilt quite as smoothly as you guys saw me quilting last week. It's very zen and meditative for me, and I do really enjoy it. And just full disclosure, last week when I mentioned that I have a Qnique 15R, the R does mean regulated, so there is a stitch regulator on the machine that helps keep the stitches the same length no matter what speed I'm going. So that helps immensely, and that is not necessarily a thing that everyone's going to have. I certainly didn't have one until I don't know, until I got the Qnique. I never had it before that. I didn't have it on any of my domestic machines that I quilted on before that. So I do love it. Even though it's an older machine and there are so many more new whiz bang ones, and I really enjoy free motion quilting, so I'm gonna stick with it. I do have some other things to show you guys, so I'm actually gonna wrap up and go inside so that I can let future me tell you about some other stuff I've been working on. And believe me, you're gonna wanna stick around for this part. We are back inside so I can share some news with you guys. I've been sitting on this for a few weeks now, and I am so excited to talk about it. I was just waiting to finish up my half square triangle quilt, and you're about to understand why I suddenly got to move on. So right before I finished up the top, we found out, my husband and I found out that we are going to be grandparents in November. So yeah, that's huge news. This will be our first grandchild. It came kind of out of the blue. We had no idea that it was even a possibility. So it's very exciting, and I'm not going to share a lot of details because it is not my story to tell, but I will tell my part of the story. So I am, of course, going to be making all the things. I cannot help myself, and I'm so excited to have this opportunity to make so many tiny things. I've actually already started, and these are things that I've kind of stocked up over the last couple weeks to share with you guys, but I wanted to share these when I told you what was going on. The first thing I made, just to get it out of my system because I knew I needed to make something, because it's how I process information, was this little bib. I had a bunch of mask panels that were pre-cut that I had bought at Austin Creative Reuse. I got them ages ago. They were $1, and I was just like, you know what? I don't know what I'll do with them. Maybe I'll make a quilt or something. But they've been in my stash, and I pulled them out for this. So I have a little puppy. I made a little bear, and I made a little bunny. And then this one, same pattern, little astronauts. And on the back, I have, I believe it's art gallery knit. It's just something I had in my stash, and I literally had, I think, 1/4 yard of it. And it's been perfect because I can put these sideways and it's just the right amount. I have enough for a couple more of these. And this pattern actually comes from sewhookedjen.com. I will put a link in the description. She has a newborn, a 3 to 6, a 6 to 12, and a 1 to 4-year-old bib, and they're all free and you can just print them out. I just made mine out of freezer paper so that it would be easier for me to iron them on. I don't want to have to stop and pin or anything like that. So obviously Crafty Grandma has been activated. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you guys. This is the reason I bought the flannel, which I'm going to roll over. This is my flannel pile. Some of this came from Michael's. A bunch of this came from Austin Creative Reuse, and some of it I already had. So I am ready to make receiving blankets and hooded towels and all that kind of stuff. I do have some terry cloth coming that Jules helped me get hold of, so I'm very excited about that. Jules works at Hip Stitch in Albuquerque, if you guys didn't know. A couple of other tiny things that I made in between everything else I've had going on. I had something on my radar even before we found out. I had to go get it immediately, which is this little guy. This is from Embroidery Library. This is a machine embroidered pattern. It's done in the hoop. You make his little head in the hoop and you make his little arms in the hoop. And then this is just a little 15-inch piece of fleece, and I've hemmed this one, and then you just sew him together. He was super easy, it worked up really fast, did not use very much of anything, fleece or thread or whatever. So I love him. He's super, super sweet, and he's just meant to be like a little lovey that the little one can carry around. My oldest kiddo had something like this, and they still have it, and it is one of their prized possessions. So of course I had to have something similar for grandkid number 1. And because I couldn't resist and I had a ton of scraps of fleece that Amber gave me, HB Fire Freak, I made a scrappy one, and this is the cat, and this is also embroiderylibrary.com. I will put links in the description. His little blanket came from Austin Creative Reuse. I paid 50 cents for a remnant of fleece there, and this was only half of it. So when I cut it in half, it was the perfect size. And for this one, I rounded the corners and I actually serged the edges. So he has a slightly different little drape. This guy's a little more pointy, and this guy's a little more round. In order to maintain boundaries and make sure I'm only making things that my kid wants, I've actually consulted them on everything that I might make, and we've made a list together of things that would be useful, that they also would like, and that they're cool with me making. And I think they're really pleased with my enthusiasm because it was such a surprise for all of us. They had no idea how we were going to react, and we are obviously over the moon. It's something that they've been working towards for a while now. We just didn't know. I quite genuinely don't think I could be more excited, and I'm channeling that into making stuff. So in between all the other things that I have going on, I'm taking the time to touch baby fabric and make baby things, and it has been a blast so far, and I'm sure I will have a ton more to show you guys over the next like 6 months, because that's probably what I'm going to be doing. I am so excited. So to all my friends out there who are watching, I hope you have a really wonderful week. I hope you have a crafty week. Stay to see some close-ups of the quilt. Hug someone you love, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.